Democrats Lovegrove, and I'd like to acknowledge the Wonnarua people before we start today, whose land we're on, and I pay respects to elders past and present and those who will be our future elders. Now, NSWALC Statewide is in its third day after a very busy start, with speeches from senior leaders in the land rights movement, presentations from a number of our 9 regions, and a panel discussion on the Uluru Statement from the Heart. Now, today's going to be just as busy in the main conference area, but we're yarning up just beforehand, before all the delegates and the VIPs go in to start their day. So our first guest today is the New South Wales Aboriginal Land Council's CEO, James Christian. So welcome again.
Good morning, Michelle. Good morning, everyone.
So yesterday, big day, very busy, lots going on. How do you feel about how the day wrapped up?
Look, it's a full program, and the sessions were well attended yesterday, and I think delegates finished the evening with a nice evening meal and a bit of karaoke. So a great finish to the day. Yeah. And we've got quite a lot on today as well, with a dinner, a formal dinner this evening, where we'll celebrate our elders and youth.
Did you sing last night? Because I wasn't there.
I may have sung once or twice.
Oh.
But, I'm sure that we'll see some of those renditions appear somewhere.
Now, one of the things that was what was discussed between yourself and delegates, etc., was the importance of economic development and financial independence as part of NSWALC's commitment to being a strong leader in this third wave of land rights. So can we unpack that a little bit about our financial independence and the commitments and the things that we need to do to ensure that happens?
Yeah, look, in keeping with the theme of beyond survival, when the tax inputs ceased with the sunset clause actually it was 20 years ago, we have continued to manage the statutory fund in a very sound and successful way. And yesterday I went through how the statutory fund is performing, because it is our source of financial independence from government. It is what we use to fund the network. With over 60% of this year's drawdown budget from the investment fund, the statutory fund, going directly back into local Aboriginal land councils and members. Over 60% of NSWALC's budget goes back directly into LALC network and into member benefits. But that financial independence from government through our management of the statutory fund is something that is the envy of many other Aboriginal organisations. And we're performing well. We actually outperform the New South Wales government's own T Corp fund. We compare ourselves regularly against other similar funds, superannuation funds and so forth, funds in perpetuity. And I used a simple example yesterday, which was, if you put $1 into the NSWALC fund in 2003, it would be worth $3.36 today. If you put that same dollar into the government's T Corp fund, it would be worth between $2.59 and $2.59 and $2.67, I think it is.
Yeah, okay. So some good management.
Yeah, look, and Council take their responsibility, their cultural and legal responsibility for managing the statutory fund very seriously. They do source expert advice, and they use that advice to make decisions about our investment activities. And yesterday I gave an update on one of our significant investments out of the investment fund, and that is the NSWALC headquarters at 33 Argyle Street, Parramatta. It was purchased out of the investment fund back in 1992 for the grand sum of $9.75 million. And I gave an update on Council's decision to place that property on the market and run a campaign to aggressively sort of drive the best possible bids out there from prospective investors.
I guess in this day and age, there's still a and it's fair enough, a perception of the whole value of bricks and mortar, etc., etc. So, the sale of 33 Argyle Street, or the pending sale, is, I can imagine that some people would wonder why NSWALC is doing it when there is also that, that emotional connection for some.
Yeah, look,
building.
and that was understood. It wasn't an easy decision for council to place the property on the market for sale. But they do have to take into account how the building as an asset in the investment portfolio is going to perform over the next 5 to 10 years and beyond. Now, the simple realities are that the building is 32 years old. It was built in 1986. It was purchased by council out of the investment fund in 1992. And our projections over the next 10 years are, if we keep the building, we'll get a return of 5.2%. On a current valuation of currently worth $28.5 million. That building will deliver to the investment fund something in the order of 48 million. Now what we know is by selling and reinvesting the proceeds from that sale of 40.8 million into the investment account over the next 10 years, at a return of 8.2%, which is what we're performing at. We're getting 8.2% on our investments, which is a great performance.
Yeah, it's great.
And that's on a 5-year rolling basis. The return on that investment will be worth over 92.3 million. That's a $55 million difference within 10 years to the investment fund. And so it just makes sense. So we did, as a result of council's decision, run a very aggressive marketing campaign. And over that 4-week period, earlier in the past couple of months, over a 4-week period, we had 97 inquiries and we ended up with 6 serious bids.
Wow.
And I can report as a result of council's decision and that campaign that we have now exchanged contracts for the sale of the building for 40.8 million.
Wow. Wow.
Well,
congratulations.
It's a good outcome. It's a good
Yeah,
outcome for the network.
It is a good outcome.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you find, because I think there's going to still be some people, perhaps I've got to say, that see that whole bricks and mortar thing, and they say, 33 Argyles, the bastion of land rights, that was the building where, So, but I think to be clear is what you were saying, that it wasn't wasn't the result of a claim. It was an investment purchase from the very get-go.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
So that's the difference, isn't it?
Look, it is, and it does mean that we can liberate that additional revenue back into the investment fund so that we can invest more over the longer term back into the Land Council network and what we do for our communities. That's our ultimate responsibility, is to ensure the strength of the statutory investment fund, because it is our source of financial independence from government. But it also, importantly, is ensuring that we have the ability for self-agency and securing our future, a strong cultural, economic future.
I'm sure the question on many people's lips is going to be, well, okay, so what's going to happen to the money now?
Yeah, so look, the money from the sale goes directly back into the statutory fund, and as I said, we perform well on our investments. It's a simple comparison of keep the building and get a return of 5.2%, or sell the building, liberate the money into the investment account now into our diversified portfolio and get 8.2%. And again, over the next 10 years, that means that we will have somewhere in the order of over 55 million more to be able to do more within the Land Council network. And again, we do rely on the returns on our investments to be able to fund the work of the Land Council network.
James, look, I've got to say that, throughout this whole process and if this interview today, the communication, you've been travelling around the state doing consultations, and giving question answers and talking with the network about this. Great communication, great transparency about the sale of a building like this. I'd imagine a lot of companies would not go to these lengths. So how is the network, to your mind, feeling about this sale right now?
Look, as we've presented more information about the rationale, about the advice that Council have relied upon to take this decision, and again, it wasn't a decision taken lightly by Council. They really did deliberate and debate, and there were some strong views that Council had to work through. But to come to the decision to place the property on the market for sale and sell the building really has come down to, it is the most sound financial decision to make, and and it will enable us to continue to ensure the strength and performance of the investment fund.
So what next? What happens? Does NSWALC out of the building, or do we stay?
No, look, it made sense for us not to incur additional expense, to stay in the building and lease for a continued period until Council has a chance to think about NSWALC's headquarters, and it's a decision which, albeit related, but a decision about where we locate our staff and operate our headquarters needs to be made, again, based on operational needs and not necessarily on the basis of how our investment portfolio works. This is a very sound decision that Council have taken into account all the advice and expert opinions that they can.
Okay. James, thank you very much
for
your
Michelle.
time this morning. I know you've got to go off to a council meeting now before
Thank you.
the conference. Have a great day.
You too.
And we'll see you maybe on tomorrow morning if you've got a chance.
Yes.
All right. See ya. See ya. All right. James Christian, come sit down, Uncle. CEO of New South Wales Aboriginal Land Council, and we're discussing the impending sale of 33 Argyle Street, Parramatta. So consultations, questions and answers have been made around the state. There is a media release, and if you would like to ask any questions, please contact for local Aboriginal Land Councils, your zone director. So without further ado though, I know this fella's been sitting about here. I was worried that you were actually going to get here on time, Uncle. And look, he was early.
I was up at 5.
Yeah, he was. Here, do you want to take this? Can you hold this, or do you want me to hold it for you?
Okay.
You can hold it? All right. This is Barry Smith, who's the CEO of Wellington Local Aboriginal Land Council.
Chairperson.
Oh, I'm sorry. He's the chair of Wellington Local Aboriginal Land Council. And you have been for some time, haven't you?
Oh,
A few years?
probably about 2 years.
2 years, okay. All right.
Yeah.
All right. And I had a chat with Uncle Barry yesterday and said, will you come on the show? You said you didn't want to, but you really wanted to, didn't you?
No, I didn't.
You did?
No.
And then what did you call me?
You con artist.
Yeah. You said you're a right con artist. Now, I had a little look at some blurb on Wellington LALC on the internet last night, Barry. So we've got Wellington Local Aboriginal Land Council committed to the protection of Aboriginal culture and heritage and to foster the best interests of all Aboriginal people within Wellington LALC's boundaries.
Yeah.
So you're sort of, I don't want to sort of say you're off the edge of Dubbo, but you that's how people could probably place you if anyone watching this program doesn't know where Wellington is.
Yeah.
Hey, tell me a little bit about your place, about Wellington. Yeah.
It's a beautiful place.
Yeah?
Yeah. It's where the two rivers meet, the Bell and the Macquarie. And years ago, our clan was living in between them. And they've got a plaque down there now, for it. We got a mission, not a mission, a reserve they call them now.
Yeah.
And we just had a big clean up there, which we talked council into doing.
Yeah, okay.
And they done it, and then, I don't know how much money it cost, but it would have cost them a bit of money. But now we bought the school back.
Yeah.
The old school, I don't think we should have bought it back. The education department should have given
it back, yeah. So this is Nanama Public School that was bought back in 2016, I think, in 2016.
And then I went and got the old school bell back.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so we got it out there too. And now we're just looking, we're chasing funding to do it up. Which
Fantastic. And what are your plans for the school long term, once that happens?
Wellbeing Centre and the cultural centre, and we're going to give
fantastic.
one room for the preschool because it's overrun.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, out there.
Okay.
Plus, you want to talk about the solo?
Yeah. So do you want to talk about the solar? We've got a fellow standing over here. Did he want to come and have a chat?
He wanted to talk about the employment.
The employment,
That
okay.
was-
Well, let's have a quick chat about the solar because I don't think the camera's going to get the three of us in shot. Is that
No.
that's right? No, it might. Yeah, okay. We
Yeah.
could all squeeze in together if you wanted.
Come on, Adam.
Come on, let's go. This is called togetherness. So you're going to have to
Get in there. Yeah. Get in
Oh,
the
don't you
middle.
want to sit next to me, Barry? Oh,
I told you.
shame. Shame. So what we're going to have to do, though, what's your name, my brother?
So my name's Adam Peckham.
Adam. Oh, Adam, lovely to meet you. Michelle? Okay, so if Uncle Barry wants to speak, you're going to have to be the reporter, all right? Yeah.
Righto, yep. Yep.
Okay.
Righto.
So tell me your position at the LALC.
So my name's I'm deputy chair.
Yep.
Been there
I'm going to
for
fall off here.
2 years.
No,
You
like
guys going to have to move over a
2015.
bit. Sorry.
Move over.
Thank you.
Um,
Are we all in?
We're still in. Yeah. So I'm deputy chair. I've been there for what's going on 3 years, I think.
Yeah.
I think I was appointed back in 2016, late 15.
Something like that.
Yeah, so been in there for quite a while. Getting a bit passionate for our community and trying to fight for rights and especially economic development for our community. So
Yeah.
I thought that'd be the best place to start.
Okay. All right. So economic development,
Yes, yes.
So what are your thoughts?
Oh, we really need it in our community. I think Wellington's made up of 67% of Aboriginal people. So, and the employment rate there is, I think it's around 8%. So we really want to boost up not only our profile and make our LALC sustainable, but we also want to see our local members be employed and have that security. So, and that's where we try to look for other opportunities in the solar farm and the wind turbines and local organisations. So
Yeah. Now, Uncle Barry was talking about that yesterday with your plans and your thoughts re-solar. So do you two want to have a bit of yarn, Barry as well, a bit of a yarn about the solar?
Yes, we've got a block of land going down to the reserve.
Yep.
It's about how many acres?
wouldn't have a clue.
Be about 30, 40.
Yeah.
And they want to put solar there.
Yeah.
And plus that'll create employment for 10 Aboriginal people.
Yeah.
And hopefully, if we can convince them, the reserve will get free electricity.
So Barry, when you say they want to put solar on there, who's they?
Oh, this company, I don't know the name of the company.
PwC, from what I understand.
PricewaterhouseCoopers.
That's it.
Right.
So,
Okay.
yeah. So when
That's interesting.
So, yeah, they approached us for
Yeah.
that opportunity,
Yeah.
and we're looking at it and seeing how it will work and working out the logistics of it all. But yeah, I think we will go ahead if the opportunity does present itself. It does come to that outcome, and it'll be really good for our local Nanama, for the people there, and also for the sustainability of our LALC, because I dare say that there'll be some royalties involved with all that. But you know, opportunities like that don't come every day, so we're going to try and grasp as much out of it as much as we can.
Yeah,
Our
true.
CEO is working really hard on it,
Yeah.
and he really wants to see that be fruitful for us, for our community, for the LALC, for Wellington. So yeah, he's really fighting really hard.
Yeah. Okay. So that's sort of playing in quite well with your, your plans, your thoughts about directions regarding employment for
Yes, yeah,
Wellington.
yeah. I think it's a great example of what we want to do, and if we could do it at that big scale, be able to employ on that level, then it'll filter down to all bits and pieces. I dare say it will be.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Fantastic. So Barry, when we were having a yarn yesterday, we were talking about a couple of other things that you guys are doing as well. What were they?
Yabby.
Oh, the Yabby
Yabby
farm.
farm,
That's
yeah.
right. Yabby farm.
But
Okay.
you know how they
So
used to do the Yabby farm in cement tanks?
Yep.
So our CEO got information you don't do them that way.
All right.
You just do them in, just dig them
Okay.
40 by 40, wasn't it?
40 by 40.
Yeah.
Just like a dam.
40 dams.
Yeah. Right.
But
Yeah.
finding the ground to do that,
Yeah,
we got a bit of ground, but you wouldn't get 40 of them in there.
yeah. So we might have to try and look at other ways if we are looking
Other
at
means, yeah.
So where in Wellington, if you were looking at doing that as well, where would that go? On what part of your land?
Well, if we can find some,
Oh.
big enough.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
I dare say we've got a fair bit of land along the side the riverbanks. What they say will be definitely out near Nanama.
We got, 500 acres out the dam,
Yeah.
but then you'd have to clear it all.
Yeah, yeah, true.
But yeah, that's another opportunity that has presented itself, and we're looking at that, our CEO.
Just make sure you go on mic.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm not sure how these mics pick up, but yeah.
Righto. No, so he's just looking at it and looking at other means and whatnot, so
Yeah.
he's on the Fisheries Council.
He's in the Fishery Council.
So he has a bit of a pull that way too, so that's really good.
So with local Aboriginal land councils, it's not sort of just about sort of getting land. Then of course it's about what do you do with it?
Yep.
What can you do with it? That's where zoning issues can come into play, and they can be particularly fraught, as the Federal Minister did mention yesterday, because I do know that how local government zoning can really affect LAUCs. You know, you'll get this land, but then all of a sudden it's been declared a green zone, or you've got enough land to build on perhaps, but it has to be rezoned residential.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and all of those sorts of things. So when you've got land, your ideas such as, you know, your solar farms, your yabby farms like these fellas are talking about, are all possibilities that need to go on the table. There's, I think, often not a lot of benefit, and I know there's people who would disagree with me, in just letting the land sit. Because you're still going to manage it, you're still going to maintain it, it's still going to cost you money. Lantana's going to grow, you know, or whatever. Would you say that I'm pretty...
You're going to have to utilise it somehow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yep.
yeah. So what about the kids in your area? You've got quite a few young children in Wellington?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. That we do have. Yeah.
Morning, Mr. Chair. Yeah, we're actually live to air. Do you want to come and say good morning?
Oh, you there now?
Yeah. No, we're right. That was our chair, Roy RC, is just given me a little bit of a shout out from the sidelines there. Council is going in to meet before the conference starts in around 15 minutes or so. We are waiting on our next guest as well. But guys, if you don't mind, and this is going to be the rough and ready day. Michael, can you tell me where Uncle Cecil is? Okay, are they coming down? Have you rung them? Yeah. Okay. All right. Sorry, I'm not trying to get you guys off or anything like that.
That's all
but
right.
Uncle, do you know Uncle Cecil Briggs?
No.
Oh, okay.
Not
All right. Here, the chair's you're gonna come on and say hello.
Yeah, I'll say hello.
Okay. All right. Do you
Finish
want to?
with these very important people.
Oh, you might.
Did you do yours?
Yeah. You come back, Barry. I'll come. Let Barry sit next to you here. You come and sit close to me, Mr. Chair.
I'll sit on your lap.
Oh. We won't say anything about that cheeky.
No, we're live.
We're live to air on Facebook. It's all good. We're all friends. It's fine. Our chair, Roy RC. So how'd we go yesterday? How do you feel we went?
Oh, look, it was a great day. It was a big day. There was a lot of important discussion, important debate. You know, particularly having both ministers at the conference and their commitment to obviously the Parliament, and for them to come along yesterday and show their commitment was a sign that this organisation can demand the political clout that we need to be able to support our land council, support our network and get on with business. You know, and Michelle, some of the feedback we're getting from the land councils is that the land councils, you know, west of the Blue Mountains feel like the conference, I wouldn't say doesn't fit their aspirations, but they've got different issues. Yeah. Different issues, so.
True. All right. So you're looking forward to today, and we actually have a lovely formal event tonight to honour and recognise a lot of stellar people in our network as well, don't we?
Absolutely.
Yeah, but we can't say there's going to be some special names mentioned.
Yeah. So
I don't know whether I'm one. No.
Well, if you're not on, Barry, just regard yourself as always being on.
Yes.
Yes. No, Barry Smith is pretty deadly fella in my estimation, don't you think? He's all right.
So was our chief.
Yeah.
We're both from the same town.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, well, Mr. Chair, I know have you got a council meeting?
Yes,
on
we
that?
have,
Okay,
yeah.
do you want me to let you go?
Yes, thank you, Michelle.
Yeah, are you up for maybe coming and having a chat tomorrow morning?
Oh, for sure,
Okay,
absolutely.
fantastic.
Yeah.
All right.
Happy to come on and
Okay, you want to send a shout out to? Yeah?
to all the mob out there listening. Look forward to your ongoing continuous support, because the Land Rights Network's been here for over 40 years now and we're not going anywhere. So if you're considering becoming a member of the Land Council, you're over the age of 18, you live in the boundaries of a local Aboriginal Land Council, membership is open. Come and join us.
All right, thank you. Thanks, Mr. Chair. Have a great day. Okay, well, Barry, we were looking for Uncle Cecil Briggs from Dorrigo Plateau Lauk, but he doesn't seem to be here. But I see a lady over here who has been waiting for a while from Trangie, who was actually going to come up and have a chat next. So if you don't mind, everybody, I might wait here for Diane Smith, who is the chair of Trangie Local Aboriginal Land Council, to come up and have a chat. You can come and sit with us too, Barry, if you want. See. No.
Which is in my region.
Yeah, why not? Yeah. So we've got Wellington and we've got Trangie. So different sides of Dubbo, but all beautiful. As I said, one of my sisters moved to Wellington earlier this year, and I love Trangie. I just love it. What can I say?
So do I.
Yeah, I bet you do. Yeah, and
So do I.
you love it more than me because you live there and you get to see it every day.
That's right.
This is Diane Smith. So how are you going? Yeah, two Smiths.
Two Smiths.
You're
not related.
You're not related?
No, not related.
Really?
No.
Okay. Fair enough. I just thought you might be sort of in land rights and in a similar region.
No, a lot of Smiths.
Yeah, okay. All right, so how did you feel about how yesterday went?
I thought it went very well, and I think NSWALC does a wonderful job with these forums. We get a lot out of them. If nothing else, it's the networking with the other lands councils.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, you sort of talk to one another and pick up different ideas from people. Unfortunately, we haven't got sand dunes where we are, so...
So Diane's talking about Wonnarua Local Aboriginal Land Council with the sand dunes that were part of a land handback at some point, which they have built into this most incredible, award-winning, multi-award-winning business called Sand Dune Adventures that, overseas tourists can't get enough of, etc. So, But you do have a lovely little cultural centre now.
Yes.
So this is where Di and I sort of came into each other's sort of realm last year.
Yeah, it was,
Yeah, with the opening of the Wonnarua
right,
Cultural Centre.
Yep.
So do you want to tell everybody a little bit about this cultural centre?
Well, it was in the making for at least 5 or 6 years. We opened it up in July last year. It's going really well. Visitor numbers have improved. We've got the information centre for the town now. And next year we're going to go into the planning stage of doing an extension to the building and put another building on the other side. So a lot of work ahead of us again.
Yeah, absolutely.
Looking for grants, and so I hope NSWALC's listening to this.
I think NSWALC's listening to this.
Can I just say one
Do you want
thing?
to just put the mic over to him? Yeah.
We're getting a cultural centre built in January. So the state government was kind enough to give us, I won't disclose the money, and so is Dubbo. So
You know, that's good.
hope we can connect and share things.
Actually, that would be fantastic.
Yeah.
That would be fantastic because I think, with our Lauks, if you, certainly in the similar region, if you are doing these similar types of adventures, cross-promotion, sort of helping each other out, hey, bus tours even.
Well, we actually had the elders from both Wellington and Dubbo come out to our cultural centre, and we did a luncheon with them and explained to them what we
Yeah.
went through to start ours. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's good. We
Here's-
work together.
Here's my errant interviewees coming up. Good morning, Uncle Cecil. How are you? So. All right. Oh, you want to go? All right, hang on. Okay, so Uncle Cecil, just wait a sec, everyone. You're not on camera, Uncle, so we're just going to make a couple of arrangements here so you can be. You want to go?
Yeah, I've got things I've got to do.
Thank you.
Love you.
Thanks
See
for
you
coming.
next
on.
time
Yeah,
you're out.
I'll see you very soon. So,
Okay.
Uncle, do you mind if you get up and come around this side? Now, Uncle Cecil's going to walk across the camera. Everybody, it's all right. Okay, but we're right. Yeah. Thanks, Barry. Okay, so Uncle, you sit down here. And can I give you a morning hug?
Why not?
Oh, I got a kiss too. Okay, my day is made. Everybody, this is Uncle Cecil Briggs. Uncle Cecil is, do you want to come a little bit closer to me? Come closer. Okay, so we're going to have to actually physically use this microphone
that's all right.
for you. All right, Uncle Cecil Briggs is a board member of Dorrigo Plateau Local Aboriginal Land Council and is, what did I write about you? I said, you've been in land rights for many decades with your brothers Tom and Eddie, rest in peace. So the Briggs family is are very significant to New South Wales Aboriginal Land Council, to the Land Rights Network. These fellas have been involved in land rights from day dot, from the go, from those marches.
Yes, that's true.
From the marches before NSWALC, from the marches before the Aboriginal Land Rights Act. These men were working and struggling and marching and doing what they needed to do so that we can enjoy some of the benefits, the camaraderie that we enjoy today.
Yes, it was a long time coming.
Yeah.
You know, big struggle back in those days. You know, and old fellas like Charlie Perkins and, you know, those old fellas back in those days, the hardship they went through. You know, they got to be recognised for their. Should have a wall of fame for our old fellas.
Yeah.
You know,
Who was some? So Charlie Perkins, you reckon?
well,
Your brother Eddie?
well, brother, in my time, brother
Yeah,
Eddie,
yeah.
he was my mentor. You know, and he passed away in December last year, so I've been lost since then.
I know.
Yeah, he was mostly the driver. You know, for me, he had the wisdom and the understanding and all those sort of things. He was a reader of the people. Miss him very badly. But all the old fellas that had to struggle back in those days, you know, I'd like to see, and we haven't come a long way since then, really.
Yeah, you don't think we have?
Oh, well, too much compliance in there. You know, you've got too many hoops to jump through, for me anyway. You know, so, but...
So I think the interesting thing with, Dorrigo Plateau Lauk, it's in, if you want to call God's country, it certainly is. And you have a lot of land that's been handed back, but they're very small parcels, aren't they?
Small parcels of land, but we've got some pretty good ones in this last few weeks.
Oh, did you? Oh,
Yeah, in
congratulations.
town too, yes.
I didn't know.
Yes.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yes, council's given the go-ahead that they can be claimed. Well, they said they could be claimed. We've got the rights to those. Yeah.
Uncle Cecil, I've just got to let you know that we're actually running out of time.
Yeah.
Because I know you were up there eating your fancy breakfast,
No,
weren't you?
sure. You've got to look after the figure.
And he's got to look after his figure because Uncle Cecil is one of the most wonderful storytellers and gentlemen that I know.
I'm supposed to give a talk in here today.
Are you?
Yeah, lunchtime, I think.
All right. So giving a talk at lunchtime, we will be live streaming right across the day. So if you would like to see Uncle Cecil,
Oh, that'd be good.
yeah, you can.
I want to get
please
my
just stay with
story
us.
out there from the beginning of time too.
Yeah,
You know, how our people lived. And how I grew up in this country.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, and I know this story, and it's a fantastic one. So I was hoping we could cover a bit of it this morning, but certainly with Uncle Cecil being one of the speakers today at Statewide 2018, you will be able to have a look. So please stay with us on Facebook as we live stream across the day for speakers like Uncle Cecil and others.
Well, you see Charles, because Charles said that he's going to make a time.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah, lunch, about lunchtime or something, I think he said.
Oh, okay, so this is Councillor
But this
Charles
is what I
Lynch.
want to get out there.
All right.
Yeah.
Uncle Cecil, depending on what happens, maybe we can have a chat about you popping in tomorrow if you can, you know,
Yeah, all
after your
right.
fancy breakfast, of course.
Ah, of course.
All right, I'm so sorry we haven't had more time.
No, that's
Yeah.
okay. But,
Okay, so do you want to send a shout out to anyone home at Dorrigo or Armidale?
Oh,
before
yeah,
we go?
all my folks up there. Well, all across the state.
Yeah.
Eh?
Yeah?
Good luck, everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is Uncle Cecil Briggs from the wonderful Briggs family. Dear favourite, much beloved of mine, and I'm thank
Thank you very much.
for coming
Yeah.
on today. So this is the breakfast program on NSWALC 2018 statewide. I'm Michelle Alexandrovich Lovegrove. We'll be back again at 8 o'clock tomorrow morning, but stay with us because we'll be live streaming right across the day today. Nakanya.
Yeah, all the best.